What's up, everybody? How's it going? How's it going? Today I'm going to be finishing up these Forge Fiends. I'm going to do the bases, the bone and fang elements, and probably some decals. And then they'll be ready. They'll be ready. What's up, Alfarius? I see you preemptively labeled me as late. However, let the record show I was not. Let's get the washes out. I'm going to start with the washes on the base because that's going to take a minute to dry. Probably going to go with a Agrax on the plastic pieces and the cast pieces, and the homemade dirty wash on the blue areas. On the dirty areas, since it's just dirt, it shouldn't matter too much. What's up, Zacharias? Working on your Repulsor Executioner. Very nice. Very nice. I quite like the Repulsor. It grew on me. It grew on me more so than the Gladiator tanks. The Gladiator tanks just have a particular look to them that doesn't... I feel like it's aesthetically worse from an objective point of view to the Predator. Where the Repulsor's, you know, it's different than the Land Raider, but it still looks good. What's up, Ronin Cords? Really like how pale the skin is on them. Thank you. Yep, I'm thinking of doing a quick and dirty Nurgle or, you know, demonic flesh tutorial maybe for an upcoming video. I think that could be neat. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to add a bit of glaze medium to this. Got some Metroid music on the playlist today. I don't think it should cause an issue with the YouTube, unless there's a surprise vocal track. Is that green? Yep, the plasma, the ectoplasma cannons are green. It should look pretty cool with the overall army aesthetic with the glowing runes. And I think having a more muted red and a more darker red than the typical Word Bearer's armor helps those runes stand out. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to put another wash over top. Don't trust Alfarius. He's a master of deceit. It should be obvious. Should be obvious. Tony the person. Oh yeah, welcome. Miku, welcome. How's it going? What's everybody working on? Post it in chat. Let's get that hobby mojo going. Okay, I'll put Agrax Earthshade all over the rest of the elements. And then I think the dry brush will carry. I think the dry brush will carry the base fairly well from here. It is just a base after all. It's so complex. The chances of my thematic battle reports coming back? Well, that is an excellent question. The thematic battle reports are... the chances are... I don't know what to say. Without giving a depressing answer. I'm not planning to bring them back as a standard regular thing. They're just so labor intensive and for not much yield as far as the viewership goes on them. I did quite a few, and, I got a lot of good feedback. People seem to enjoy them, which I love, but they are quite the ordeal to produce. I have one in mind I want to do for the word bearers. I think would be really neat. But as a regular thing coming back, I don't know. We'll see how the word bearers one does. That's the answer. That's the answer. If the next one blows up, so to speak, well then, that's some good feedback. That's some good encouragement to make it a regular thing. If not, unfortunately, I like to share things I'm passionate about that I'm working on in the hobby, but it is not sustainable, unfortunately. We'll see, though. Things could change. Things could change. Yeah, I think a Word Bearers battle report against a thematic bat rep against Ultramarines or perhaps Grey Knights could be really cool. Those are the two possibilities. Nothing is set in stone yet. Yeah, look at that Wasp just going into those runes on the base. Doing its thing, looking good. Nice. Very cool. Okay, let's do the next one. Tony the person giving Angron chicken legs. Are you saying Angron skips leg day? I would expect better of Angron. Do it as a story, following the warband in a series of battles to reach a specific goal. That's true, you could. I could do both. I love the idea that I have a bit of homebrew lore for most of my army projects, right? And for the word bearers, it's definitely there's a reason why there's no demon princes in the army. And then the headcanon lore for that is that anyone who becomes a demon prince from their warband must go and serve the great game in the warp. They're no longer able to operate with the Legion anymore or with the warband. But through that sacrifice, through that service, the word bearers get more favor with the Chaos Gods. So I like the idea of the word bearers having a series of battles, a campaign, if you will, to reach a specific goal, and the climax of that campaign is perhaps they're able to call upon a demon prince or summon some demons, kind of flexing that bit of lore. In a sense, it's kind of like plot armor, right? It's like, oh, we're in trouble, but the demons will come into our aid because we have some store credit with them, basically. We have some favors we can call. Alrighty. Yeah, this base is a bit more simple. The chicken rye sandwich sounds pretty good, Miku. I can't lie. I can't lie. Crusade against the Grey Knights to get the Terminus Protocol. You'll have to enlighten me, Alferis. What is the Terminus Protocol? Is that a Grey Knights bit of lore? Or is that a word bearer's piece of lore that I'm just not familiar with? You can probably put a bit of this on his paws also, now that I think about it. His feet are going to get dirty, right? Feet are going to get dirty. It is only natural that the Agrax Earthshade should spill over. Yeah, a bit more on this side, I think this base will be good. Maybe some on this Marine helmet. A little bit of an Ultramarines helmet on the base. I feel like those little details add a nice bit of bad manners and a bit of storytelling, of course. Okay, so that's alright, yep. That's the base washed. So those will take some time to dry. And while they dry, I can shift gears to some bone elements and maybe clean up anything else that was missed. Well, let me catch up on chat here. Terminus Decree, Grey Knights blowing everything up, Imperium go boom. Gotcha, gotcha. Oh, it's a mysterious piece of parchment. I see. Let's get the handhold. The old handhold. And see if I can attach this without sending the model flying. Alright, we're good. We're secure. No disasters yet. And for the bone colors, I got some Steel Legion to finish off. And probably Army Painter Skeleton Bone. Good old reliable. The staples, if you will. Yeah, this is nearly finished. so the bone elements on this guy are on various parts of the armor. Mostly just the like shoulder, these girdle pieces, these pauldrons, and these ones on the back hips here. A few on his front legs. Those are just armor spikes, and then up here. So it's not too bad. And it's obviously placed, unlike Chaos Space Marine Trim, which will have like a random tooth coming out of like a back corner of a shoulder pad, which can be annoying when you miss them. All right, so let's hit these. Let's hit these bone elements, these fanged pieces. Just another material being added to the model, which will add a bit more visual interest. Wait, let me turn OBS off of studio mode because I'm not really switching things around. There we go, that's better. It's a bit easier for my screen setup here. Kind of keep an eye on the chat a bit better. That's the intention anyways. It's actually fairly quicker than I thought. Won't have to worry about highlighting the bottom faces, I don't think. Like Vulcan's, his talisman, the Talisman of Seven Hammers. I wonder if that's still an option, or if it expired. Did it come into play for the Horus Heresy, like the Siege of Terra? I mean, it's like kind of like a setup in his novels leading up to the siege, and then. And what are we, was there a payoff for that? Was there oh, he almost pressed it? Or someone almost used it? Close call. Any moments like that in the Siege of Terra? Oh, he waited to use it during the storming of the Vengeful Spirit. just threw your whip into the Manufactorum, eh, Ronan? Let me take a looky-loo. World Leader's Demon Prince. Nice. Got some Iron Hands in there. Oh, a Breacher Squad. Man, Breachers are so cool. Oh, what looks like a Breacher Squad. This handle certainly makes painting this guy much easier. Oh, we got some cables to do on his hindquarters. I see some unpainted cables in his muscles. Right here. What should that be? Maybe it's glowing green. Maybe glowing green is the answer. Probably don't want to add extra random colors, right? Like, it's not like a Dreadnought cockpit or whatever with all the different cables, and you can kind of add some different colors to create a to draw attention to that focal point, like hazard stripes, that sort of thing. I don't think I'd want to do that here, so probably just do the ectoplasma color. It's not so bad. Not so bad for the spikes. I'll probably just layer in the skeleton bone right into the Steel Legion drab. Or sorry, blend it with what remains of the Steel Legion on my palette to create a kind of a softened bone color. Don't want them to be too eye-catching. You don't want too much contrast on them. 160 stratagems. Very intense. Put a picture of the Pallies in Discord, Alferis. Let me take a look. Ah, nice. Oh, I love banners. Paladins with the banners. And what are these? Force Glaives? No. They're very nice to have special names for their force weapons, right? There's a special prefix for them. Is bronze still alive on my palette? Maybe I can hit these guys' plug points. Add a bit of subtle variation. This is how he recharges. These ports have to plug in, so you can recharge his batteries. That's Demon Engine lore. If you guys aren't familiar, that's how they work. And the more plugs you have, obviously, the stronger you are, and the faster you recharge. Could use a bit more bronze, though. Well, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to the bronzing. Just perusing the paint pot. I should have a bronze in here somewhere. There it is. Okay, let's continue. Gotta do the Steel Legion base on this guy now. All the washes are nearly dry. Pretty good. Looking pretty good. Oh, I just saw your message, Alfarius. My expertise is required elsewhere, so I must depart. You take care, Alfarius. Thanks for dropping by. What's up, Iron Tiger? Well, you know what? If you can't stay long, I appreciate you dropping in. And I thank you for the compliment on the Forge Fiend here. He does look quite handsome. Guess on this one I'm working front to back rather than looping myself around. Gotta keep it fresh, you know? Gotta keep it interesting. What's up, Pollux G? How's it going? How's it going? You hobbying? Are you joining in on the hobby camaraderie? Did I get those front spikes on both legs of this guy? Okay, I did. Though not this, not this underside. You take care, Zacharias. You might have missed this, but I was late seeing your message. But it's a thought that counts, right? Rest up. Catch those Z's. Cool. Base layer of these horns or spikes. We're done. So, question is what to do with the wash. I think Seraphim Sepia is probably a good color, but oh man, this paint is no good. That bronze I was about to use is old and it's like separated and hardened. I can use a bit of Balthazar. Also old. Also very old. Ah, the glow's looking good against the armor? Awesome. Just what I'd like to hear, Pollux. Just what I'd like to hear. Yep. I intentionally darkened the armor of my word bears compared to the way GW paints them. It's a bit brighter, a bit more saturated. Because I like to add the glowing decals. And I just think they look better aesthetically when the armor is darker. Okay, just want to hit these plug points a little bit on all of these guys. This is just a bronze mixed with Balthazar gold, but it's a bronze color. Bad name on GW's part. Or Citadel's part. And it's mixed with a bit of Dura aluminum from Vallejo. Yeah, the darker red also helps separate them a bit more from the World Eaters, which like to be bright red often as well. I mean, I know World Eaters have gold trim, or bronze trim instead of the silver that Word Bears have, but I think this, it's a good deviation, I think. I missed a spot here on this guy. As you do. Okay, I think I'll wash at the end for the spikes. We'll mix in a bit of skeleton bone to that Steel Legion. That's already on my palette. And now I get to do it all over again. All over again. It might be a bit too weak here. So I'm going to put a wash over this. Just blend it up a little bit more. probably use a sepia wash to help keep them a bit more distinct from the beige basing elements. So it'll make a subtle difference. It'll be subtle, but I think worth it. Yeah, I like these individual fangs pointed like this because you can just kind of eat it with your brush. And then the paint kind of distributes in a jagged sort of way. Not a perfectly straight line. And I think it looks pretty natural. A pretty natural transition of color change. Seems like I missed a spot of metal there. Try and remember to hit that later. And next time I clean my brush, I'll actually hit that little spot I missed because I have the metal color on my palette from that bronze mixture. So might as well. Yeah, right here. I'm intentionally ignoring the fangs on the plasma cannons because I think they'll look better in black to really sell the unnatural kind of what would you call that, like an enamel or whatever teeth are made out of. I think it'll look more evil if it's a dark color, and it'll contrast nicer with the glowing parts. Yep, I'm vibing with that Pollux and Miku. Those burnt metals on Meltaguns and all that look real good. Or even like a dry brush stippled of black over smokestacks can really add that bit of believability. Yep, I agree with you, Miku. You don't want to do just black on a laser barrel or a melta barrel. I think it's you want to burn the metal from the heat, right? So like a purple and a sepia wash, they look real good. They look real good. I think that was the old tutorial Duncan Rhodes did on the Warhammer TV YouTube. There's a series of colored washes, including blue. You know, just layer them up, they look pretty good. Adds a lot. Just add a bit of a highlight color back to these. Bit overblown with the Hexwraith wash. Oh, Predator with Assault Cannon sponsons would be dope. With the Bale Predator Twin Assault Cannon on top. Amazing. That is something I liked about the Gladiator. They didn't relegate those options to Blood Angels only. Felt so arbitrary. Only Blood Angels Predators can have Assault Cannons. Only Blood Angels Dreadnoughts can have Twin Claws. It's weird. Yeah, Dark Angels with Plasma Destroyer turret. Yeah, obviously they should have that. Their Predators should just be the Deimos pattern Predators with all the cool options. Plus whatever else. Whatever other cool toys they have stashed away. Okay, so all the bone layers are done. I want to do a quick little pin wash on this seam here because I think it's a little awkward. A little awkward without it. The other side, yeah, the other side needs it as well. How's this one? Yep, it could use it as well. Cool. Cool. Let's begin just applying some sepia wash. Some sepia? Some Seraphim sepia wash to those parts, but just where they meet the, basically just the bottom half. Just the bottom half. Hey, bottom half isn't the right amount, like the first 2/3. So as not to darken the tips. Just adding a bit of warmth, a bit of subtle variation. Yeah, washes are the best. We'll have to do a little bit of metal cleanup from that wash. I guess that is the price of a sloppy or unprecise application. It's not too bad. Not too much spill. Mostly just on these upward facing spikes. So I don't want the Seraphim Sepia to tint the the trim. I would prefer a stark separation between those materials. Which makes better, Glutton, Papa Nurgle, or Daddy Slaanesh? Probably, you can make an argument for both, honestly. If you like the fat aesthetic, Nurgle's probably cooler. What makes Slaanesh unique on the tabletop? Generally, it's fighting first and being fast. Advancing and charging and fighting first historically seem to be the mechanics for Slaanesh. And resilience for Nurgle. Which serves being fat better, right? You're bigger and tougher, you got more wounds. Slaanesh is very Eldar adjacent with regards to tabletop characterization, I think in terms of stats and such. Okay, so fangs are looking good. I'll clean up that metal. This side's not too bad. Let's start with the other one. That's also not too bad. Pretty. If it's a small overspill, we'll probably just leave it. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty alright. A little Steel Legion, gotta clean up here. Can we dab in here? Lessen that a little bit. Lessen that a little bit. Okay. What do I think of... Oh, how's it going, Misfit? Thanks for tuning in. What are you working on? Please share. Please share in the hobby camaraderie. With regards to your question, Miku, what do I think of the statement that Slaanesh has tabletop or an identity issue and lack of presence and representation from GW? In what respect? I mean, I think Slaanesh has a pretty good representation on the tabletop. They have quite the range in Age of Sigmar, with the Hedonite range. I think that's fairly new. Probably the newest one. They were the last to get their range, I think, in Age of Sigmar. But someone's got to be last, and Slaanesh is the youngest, so I don't hate that. that's a bummer when you're expecting a package, a gift in the mail, a little surprise, a little pep in your step, and it doesn't show up because of the mailman. Because of the mailman. Oh God. Where's my where's the other black? Where are the other trucks? Oh, here it is. Game color, not that one. Game color black. This is gloss medium. Don't need gloss medium today. I don't think so. Yep, I think it would. Yeah, with regards to 40k, Slaanesh is fairly lacking, but that's because GW doesn't only knows how to give attention to the Chaos God or the marks when there's a Space Marine Association in place to receive that attention, which is lame, but it's what it is. I wish I could use some of those Slaanesh demon characters from Age of Sigmar. In particular, the twin, or the twins. I only made one of them because I thought the model was amazing, but sadly it never got rules. Turning 20. Oh yeah, you mentioned that project, Misfit. Your 20 Auxilia for GSC. Right on. Making it happen. We're making it happen. I'm going to continue painting the teeth here. Unless I mention, these teeth are going to be black because I think it'll look more evil and contrast better for the ectoplasma. And I'm not going to do much edge highlighting on this model, but what I will do is edge highlight these teeth with the ectoplasma color. And I think, because I'm keeping it dark, it should have a good effect. It should look cool. Or at least, that's the plan. We'll see. We'll see how it all comes together. I am quite fond of this kind of design here that GW has for their Chaos Plasma. It's very cool. Like the dragons of old, they breathe hot fire. Yep, Pollux G is right. Slaanesh lore for 40k is bound between Eldar and Emperor's Children. And Emperor's Children don't really... well, right now they barely exist. That index. And Miku asks, what model, a unit without rules, unit to write rules for in 9.5. Oh, there's quite a few models. Okay, so something I wish I wish for word bearers, the Maragal Dreadnought. They're possessed Dreadnought from the Horus Heresy, right? That is a unit I wish had rules in 40k, or at least Legends rules, but they do not. You'd think they would be a fairly common. I mean, Dreadnoughts are more common than they ought to be, but with regards to Dreadnoughts and Hellbrutes, you'd think that would be a common amongst that unit type in a word bearer's army that would exist in narrative. And I think another one that you can make the exact same argument for is the Thousand Sons Dreadnoughts, or the Sorcerer one, whichever one that is. The Hellbrute of the Thousand Sons are stuck with, for them, is great as a kind of alternative to a standard that they don't have right now, right? Because the Thousand Sons, they don't have it's like a Chaos Spawn, right? So what are the outcomes for Thousand Sons, right? You turn into a Chaos Spawn, flesh change causes big problems, or you go to the Rubrikai and become a Dustman. And I think the Hellbrute and a alternative Dreadnought could kind of follow and represent those themes while serving both options. So if you're a Thousand Sons guy who likes to embrace the Chaos Spawn and the weird mutations of Tzeentch and all of this, then the Hellbrute's for you. But if you're a wizardary and you want to be more about the Rubrikai, then you have the Sorcerer Dreadnought. But yes, those, like the Maragal Dreadnought for the word bearers, they have no rules. I don't believe they have any Legends rules. I don't think they ever had, even in 8th edition. How's it going, Cloaker? Just saw your message. I was too focused on painting. Yes, it is a Word Bearer's Forge Fiend. 2 of them, in fact. We're going to put some decals on them in a little bit. And then they'll be ready. I actually gave them a try in a game on Sunday. It was pretty good. They're pretty strong. I see why they're so expensive. They're pretty good units. This is like peak anxiety music. Jeez. I wonder if a bigger brush would serve me better for this. Let's try it out on the other one. Yep, I agree, Misfit. It would be nice if GW did more effects paints. But I guess there are other alternatives you could look to. I'm sure there are between all the other ranges, Scale 75, Green Stuff World. They're pretty good for the out of the ordinary paint options like your color shifts and all that. No, I'm not putting the, the Legion decal on the back star. I thought about it, but I don't know. I don't think Demon Engines look particularly. This is my opinion, okay? I'll preempt this. Yeah, different strokes for different folks. All of that, right? I don't think Demon Engines are particularly well served aesthetically by placing decals on them in the way rhinos and predators are. The classic Legion era vehicles look great with the heraldry, but the Demon Engines, I don't really know where to put it. You could put on the top star, but I think it's weird. But by decals, I want to put my glowing runes everywhere, which I've been doing on my other models in the army. And maybe, no, we're not gonna do an ultramarine decal. Well, maybe you could put a little U, a little infantry-sized U here. That could work. You could even cut it up a little bit. Maybe we'll do that. There just so happens to be. Oh, you can't see it too well. But on the Horus Heresy sheet, there are some Ultramarines transfers here, beside the Word Bearers ones. No, it's gotta be Ultramarines. Gotta represent the hated foe. I turned one of the possessed sculpts into a standard bearer, and he's standing on an Ultramarines, or not yet Ultramarines, but he will be standing on an Ultramarines intercessor body, and it should look pretty proud, pretty triumphant. Yeah, you know what? I think the bigger brush is a win for this. Don't need anything too precise either. I just noticed how out of frame I was. Such professionalism. Yeah, these teeth are quite angular, so I think they'll look good with an edge highlight. Hating on the Ultramarines is always a good thing. Yeah. It's easy to hate on them. I'm actually quite a fan of the Ultramarines. I feel like they get too much hate from memes, and the memes have taken over, but as I don't want my villains to be lame, The Ultramarines are badass, and that's why it's a big deal that the Word Bears hate them. I don't have a a schoolboy kind of thing against them, like a pylon sort of thing. I think their lore is pretty cool. I think they're good poster boys. And they're a good foil for the Word Bears that have fallen so far from the Emperor's vision, right? Oh, you thought it was Crimson Fists because of the how dark it is. Yeah, it might need to be brightened up a little bit. I did hit it with a wash. Maybe it was too heavy, or maybe it was too dark and too heavy. But I'll consider brightening it up. Probably makes sense. The Ultramarines I have on my Disco Lords base is fairly, I think, fairly in line with how the heavy metal guys paint them. How GW wants them to look. Cool. Our fangs have been blacked. So I want to hit it with a bit of Incubi Darkness, just towards the front half. Kind of like a messy light application, probably diluted a little bit, or mixed in with what's on my palette here. Just to add a little bit of gradation. Just like this, just to create a blend. I guess it's technically a blend, but I'm not really putting any effort towards making it smooth. I think it's fairly subtle anyways. These ones don't really matter. It's subtle, right? I missed a bit of I missed these ones here. I I can appreciate the way. Sorry, GW paints the Dark Angels. I think it looks neat. It could be a bit too strong in some places, for sure. I could see that. You don't want him to look like Tron. If that's the case, it's maybe overblown. But I like the darker green, and I like a fairly strong edge highlight. But I've definitely seen takes on the scheme that are Tron-like. In fairness to your position there, Pollux. There might be Clipter from Power Rangers. Funny. We'll do one more pass with the Incubi here. A bit brighter and trying to do a quick application, but also one that is not gonna muck anything up, you know. I guess it's almost like a dry brush, really. Right, let's do that on the other guy. Then after that, we'll be doing, whoops, Jesus, almost had a, almost suffered a few mortal wounds there. These spring-loaded handles. Handle with care. Alright, so the base first, or do we go to decals? Probably want to do the bases first, yeah? Okay. Take it off the handle. So for the base, I have a few dry brush passes to do, which are thankfully pretty easy, pretty low effort. Just need a few paints. Probably this thing. What do we have here? So for the blue earth, I need a cool gray. So I'm going to mix a bit of Lothran blue with my dark sea gray. Whoops, there we go. These two paints. And for the stone, I just use a bone color. This goes over the dirt also, which kind of desaturates it a little bit from the first pass. But between those two, the bases are, well, that's it. Yeah, I don't hate on those pictures you posted in the Manufactorum, Miku. I think they're neat. But I can appreciate if that's not your vibe. I need to mix a bit of off-white to my light gray here. It's just not light enough. Basically looking for a Space Wolves kind of gray. It's a bit too strong. That's a bit too strong. No. Okay, well, got to live with that. For the other one, I wonder if the Ultramarines Rhino door there will require a bit more attention. Could be a cool spot for a blend. Yeah, we'll just get the dry brush up there. It's mostly obscured by the model, right? Then get some skeleton bone going. Just do a lighter pass over the blue areas first. I can dry brush the Rhino, but if I'm gonna be painting over it and adding a decal, well, I could just soften the shit out of the decal. That should alleviate any issues. Just ruin it, you know. If it tears, no big deal. It's a wrecked door. Is the Zachariah model really discontinued? The Dark Angel's lieutenant? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. They're kind of... There's an excess of them, right? It's not like we're lacking for Primaris lieutenant models. And each one that comes out basically has... Not each one, but often they have overlapping war gear, so it's really the pose you're getting. Okay, so now that all the blue areas are done, come back in. Begin just dry brushing over these runes. Come on, paint. Get off my brush. Get on there. Well, this is this is making me reconsider basing the models. I could have done this with much more ease if these giant forge fiends weren't in the way. Though I do like being able to dry brush the contact points as well. Zachariah had unique war gear, eh? Oh yeah, he did have a plasma pistol. That was unique. But then him being released allowed everyone to take a plasma pistol, right? It's not like he was a named character. It's not like a Lazarus or something. In 8th edition, Dark Angels Primaris Lieutenants were the only ones that were able to take 2 pistols. Bolt and plasma. Yep, this is true. This is true. I had a buddy who was, I think he converted his own little guy to do it. Yeah, I'm not, like, I can appreciate what you're saying there, Miku, but for the same reason I think it's, like, I roll my eyes when I hear only Blood Angels can have Dreadnoughts with claws. Like, a plasma pistol isn't that special. Like, every chapter, every Space Marine chapter should be able to... Every chapter's lieutenant should be able to pull whatever they want from the armory, in theory. I long for a system that is closer aligned to the realities of what the narrative's trying to abstract. I think it's really lame that Black Templars are the only ones that can have Melta hatch weapons on their tanks because they have an upgrade sprue. Like, it's so stupid. Yeah, Dark Angels are known for their Dark Age weapons. Their plasma is a bit more refined, perhaps more deadly, but I don't see why a lieutenant can't get one from the armory when a Sisters of Battle Canoness or whatever their lieutenant can take them. I think they can take them. Shit. I just broke something. I have to be careful of my own strength. Sometimes I forget how strong I am. Oh, right, okay. We'll remedy that issue maybe off screen. I think I weakened a contact point with some that was previously glued poorly, so not a huge deal, but there's some boring stuff to take care of. In any case, the bases are adequate. The Ultramarines details could be a bit better, which might also be a task for off-stream. Let's do some decalin. Salamanders did have a name Dreadnought. Vrayarth Ashmantle is not even in Legends. I'll BRB. I need to get my knife. Or you can use a gaggle of these. Oh man, Chaos Dreadnoughts, eh? Like, objectively superior to Hellbrutes. Hellbrutes are like the weird Demon Engine stepchild that doesn't get to be called a Demon Engine, but it almost certainly like it has so many design cues of Demon Engines, and yet it's not even treated as a possessed or demonic even. Now I don't like it there. I'll put it one up here. Yeah, I think I mentioned it in a video way back, Miku. The Halberds are weird to me. Like, especially in 8th and ninth, GW really wanted them to just be dreadnoughts in rules, but not in name or aesthetic. It felt awkward. It feels like they shouldn't be as, tactfully proficient. They should be lost and damned in the way you would imagine they would be. More ferocious, than a dreadnought, but way less skilled. Probably should have a demonic invulnerable save because it certainly looks demonic. Kind of like the older era of rules for it more so. In 10th edition, it's not so bad because GW has decided to make Halberds different from dreadnoughts in their ability, as all the dreadnoughts seem to do weird things for each army rule. But it's kind of strange that they're all serving as these locus auras. Well, that should be fairly adequate, I think. Quite a lot of decals on this guy. I'm just reading your comment now, Miku. You had the idea a long time ago for plasma guns. Instead of 2 supercharged shots, there'd be 1. Yeah, I've had similar thoughts about the supercharging choice, but you have to overcompensate for the lack of quantity. Quantity is king, unfortunately, with the way the attack sequences are. Unless, I mean, I don't know how much you've changed in your 9.5 project, but if you've remedied that issue with the way the way attack sequences have been, then it should be fine. I think there's some design space around dev wounds in exchange for being hazardous. That's kind of interesting, so that when you overcharge for AP and lose your quantity, you don't get just blocked by an invulnerable save regardless. Well, you know, all assuming that that's the same in your 9.5. We'll get our decals going for our second Hellbrute, our second Forge Fiend. Man, all this Hellbrute talk. All this Hellbrute talk. I said there's a lot of decals on this guy, but might have to add a few more. This is my curse. Might have to add a few more on his legs. that one. We'll get our... We'll get this guy back. And one out of it of softener to those decals before I forget about them. Okay, we'll let that guy sit for a bit. Get our other forge friend. That's an interesting way to go about solving the durability issue, Miku. Actually, I want to move this one lower. What is what toughness of armor should do in 40k but doesn't? I mean, it's weird. Like, it doesn't really answer your question. I don't particularly like having the toughness strength test. I think it's dumb. I think toughness and strength and AP and armor save are all overlapping in what they abstract. At one point, you could make an argument that toughness was representing the man inside the, like, the unit itself, not its armor. But in 10th edition, that's no longer the case, and kind of reveals that whole idea just to be like an arbitrary thing. I think I've played with design ideas around removing that test from the attack sequence altogether, but I wonder if the practical reality is that you need a third test to just diffuse dice, or else the game ends too quickly. And if that's the case, then I kind of prefer Age of Sigmar's approach, which I used to hate. Like, I used to hate this idea that, oh, this unit always wounds on a 3-up? How dumb. Right? It wounds a Skaven on a 3-up, it wounds a giant dragon or whatever, or ogre. At 3-up. It didn't make sense to me, and I thought it was dumb. But then rolling the same test twice, AP versus saves and strength versus toughness, that's also dumb. So then maybe you just make the wound roll abstract this idea of just weapon potency. If you must have a third test to diffuse the dice. For potency, for managing potency. Just say, oh, plasma's a deadly weapon. It always wounds on 2s, or always wounds on 3s, whatever. It's an interesting idea. Probably need another row of decals. Let that stew a bit. What time are we at? Probably wrap up within the next 30 minutes or so. Jesus. Get off my brush. Okay. We get this big W. Maybe put the W in the middle of this guy. Or maybe it's a 3. Who knows? I don't think there's any... Oh, there's one last one floating around. Perfect. I'm gonna put that on this guy's back leg. Yeah, I've never played BattleTech, but seems pretty cool. Seems pretty cool. I would assume it's a fun game to play. Cool. Ooh, let's clean up this this water, and then we'll get to applying some Hex Wraith. It's the good stuff. That one's a bit too strong. God damn, this track takes me back. It's so good. Yep. Decals looking good. Looking good. The one on the chest is a little heavy, and same with one on the leg. Might have to tease that out a little bit and clean up. Is that all? Is that all the decals? I think it is. Nice. Cool stuff. Well, didn't get as far along as I would have liked to on this stream. Thought we'd be done, but I do want to give a bit more attention to the Ultramarines basing details, as well as doing some edge highlighting and maybe even a light layer of the Hexwraith over the fangs, just to make them pop a bit more. But I think these Forge Fiends are looking pretty cool with their glowing runes. Certainly table worthy. Anyways, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. If you made it to the end of the stream, you guys are the real heroes, the real OGs. Thanks to everyone who liked the stream and hung out in chat. And tomorrow will be... tomorrow I'll be streaming again at the usual time. I think it's almost certain I'll have a stream scheduled for the same, 7:30 EST time, and we'll get this guy finito.